It's a travesty, I tell you. Always forgetting about Plataea. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Justin here, and in this video I want to share 3 ancient Greek histories that I'm really interested in that came out earlier in this year of 2022. I did a similar video, more or less dealing with ancient history or pre-classical, pre-Greco-Roman classical civilizations. I'll leave a link in a card or whatever up in the corner there. But like I said, this one's going to be Greek history specifically, and I'll probably end up doing like a Roman and medieval history one as well, just because I didn't really do a whole lot pretty much the entire year until like the past like couple of weeks as far as like booktube relatedness and all that kind of stuff. But let's just go ahead and get started. First up, came out in January, is Athens, City of Wisdom by Bruce Clark. And this is a chunky boy. I think I saw this one in a bookstore, and I was like, wow, another book on Athens. But this one looked really good. But it was like, I want to say it was like 600 or 700 pages, and I was like, that's a lot. But sometimes you just gotta cover a lot of stuff. There is a lot of stuff on Athens. Basically, the vast majority of like a lot of the archaeological evidence, the majority of like the textual evidence has come down to us, things like that. But there's a lot of inscriptions actually, either from Athens or regarding Athens. Just was like the premier city-state. Though it is kind of ironic, between Athens and Sparta, they get 90+% of the coverage. And they're kind of the weird outlier, like city-states, the polis, not really representative of like the other like 500. They're kind of like two different extremes there. But anyways, I gotta see. I've read a book on Thebes a couple years ago. I've read a couple books on Sparta. I think I've read another book on Athens or so somewhere. I've read a couple books on like the Greek city-states. So I do like this kind of topic. I'm assuming this one's got some new kind of evidence kind of going on. Plus, like I said, since it's just like a pure focus on the entire history of Athens, I think it might cover some of maybe beyond like kind of just the the classical like heyday of like the 500s and 400s 300s BCE. It might maybe cover before that, and then maybe during through like the Roman occupation and all that kind of, and then obviously during the Hellenistic period in between as well. So it does seem like it'd be really cool. I've never heard of anything else Bruce Clark has written, but like I said, I flipped through it a little bit when I saw it in the bookstore. It seemed really interesting, and I will pick it up hopefully at some point. Next up is a book that was actually very recently published. I think it was, October of this year. And it's The Harvest of War, Marathon, Thermopylae, and Salamis, the epic battles that saved democracy. And let's see, and similar to Athens, I also have a book. Let's see, I got a book on Marathon right there, a book on Thermopylae right there. There is a book on Salamis by Barry Strauss, I want to say, that I need to get to at some point as well. But this is obviously a book covering kind of the entire second, I guess the first invasion and the second invasion of Persia invading Greece. That's just, I don't know, I was drawing a blank for some reason. So essentially it's kind of a history of the Greco-Persian Wars. However, most notably, Plataea was forgotten in the title there. I'm assuming it must be covered to some degree in the book, but for some reason, no one writes on Plataea, and I have absolutely no idea why. For those who don't know, just a quick rundown. Marathon, first, invasion of Greece. It was, let's see, 10,000 Persians kind of just are scoping out and kind of like a raiding party in 490 when they want to, after Athens, kind of helped instigate the Ionian revolt a little bit. Everything like that. Darius was kind of like, we can't let that stand. We're going to have to like do something about it. Invades, kind of gets thwarted, gets put on the back burner. Darius dies. Xerxes comes to power and he's like, you know what? We gotta like do this for real. Invades. They had the Battle of Thermopylae. 300 Spartans. Always reading about all the others, like the allies and the Thespians and all them. But they all hold off a zillion Persians or whatever the number actually is. And then you have the Battle of Salamis kind of going on at the same time, where the Greeks actually do pretty good in a naval battle against the Persians. What people fail to realize is, yes, Thermopylae was really cool, Salamis really cool, all that kind of stuff. It didn't matter. Like, Thermopylae is still technically, I mean, it's a loss. Like, Athens gets burned to the ground, Boeotia falls, pretty much all of northern Greece falls to Persia in 480. Yeah. And, the entire not the entire, but, the vast majority of the population of Athens is sailed off to Salamis and is just literally ransacked, burned down, whatever. And it's in 479, all the Greeks that are, like, still, like, allied to the Greek cause finally get together and, like, you know what, we gotta, stand up to Persia, fight the giant battle of Plataea, which is probably, like, one of the largest Greek coalition armies ever, probably the largest gathering of hoplites ever in the history of ever, at the Battle of Plataea, where they actually, defeat the main sort of expeditionary force of the Persians that was left behind after Xerxes takes some of the army back to Persia to do whatever he wanted to do. Anyways, that was the longest tangent ever. That's probably the longest tangent I've done in a long, long time. But anyways, the book seems really cool. I do like the Greco-Persian Wars. I used to be really, really into it back, like, even in, like, high school days when I wasn't, like, as big into, like, history and science and all that kind of stuff, education-wise and everything. But that always kind of did stick with me and whatnot. And I can't even remember. I don't think I've read anything in the past couple of years specifically on the Greco-Persian War. So when I saw that one in my research for this video, I was like, yeah, we definitely got to get that one at some point. Like I said, I read a couple other books specifically on individual battles, but this will probably be a nice overview of the first half of the Persian invasions of Greece. That was I do feel bad. That was the longest tangent ever. If you made it through that, congratulations to you. Definitely check out my Etsy shop. If you went through that, you definitely won't have a problem checking. The best way to support the channel, even just like liking some items, favoriting the shop, all kinds of stuff. I gotta get some more. I have some ideas for Greek stuff, some Greek and Latin stuff coming out for different like decor and whatnot. I think it might be cool. But let's go on to the third one, and it is this one's probably the one I'm most interested in out of the three. And it's the Ptolemies, Rise of a Dynasty, Ptolemaic Egypt 330 to 246. This is by John Granger, and this came out, I believe, last month in September. I have seen one other work by John Granger, and it's like Hellenistic, like Greco-Roman naval warfare or something like that, which sounded really interesting when I saw it in audiobook format. Might give that one a listen if I don't pick up the book. But anyways, this one is all about, the Ptolemies. For those who don't know, the Ptolemaic Egypt, after Alexander the Great kind of bit the dust, you have the Wars of the Diadochi and the Wars of Succession. You had, Cassander took Macedon and Greece, Seleucus, Nicator took, the Seleucid Empire, Antigonus, Monophthalmus took Turkey, and Ptolemy, he took I think Soter became his epithet like later on. Yeah, the Diadochi had really cool names. You had Monophthalmus, the one-eyed, Soter, the savior, and Nicator, the victorious. Can't make that stuff up. But anyways, Ptolemy took over, became the satrap of Egypt, and essentially just like declared himself like the next line of pharaoh. And they ruled until the Roman annexation of Egypt. And when with the wars against Mark Antony and Cleopatra. So a lot of cool stuff kind of going on with Ptolemaic Egypt. You have the Library of Alexandria, like really like taking over Alexandria as a whole. Just so much art and culture really, really flourishing during this time period. I don't know too much specifically about I've read a couple books of Cleopatra, but this is kind of dealing with the first like 100 years or so of Ptolemaic Egypt. But it's gonna be really cool just kind of learning about the blending, like kind of the syncretism of Egyptian culture, ancient Egyptian culture and Hellenistic Greek culture. I think that's gonna be really cool. Like I said, you have the Lighthouse of Alexandria, the Library of Alexandria. I'm sure there's lots of stuff going on that I don't know about as well. I think it's a really cool, kind of interesting topic that gets glossed over a lot of times, and I'm just going to be really interested in picking this one up and seeing what it's all about. So there you have it, 3 ancient Greek history books that I'm really interested in that came out in 2022. Let me know in the comments down below if you read any really good Greek histories lately. I'm always glad to check those out. And always remember, whether you're reading Greek history or not, read victoriously.